Little Hans Bake Added to Book 1 Chapter 11. To Grandmother's house we go!
So the echidna was in on my little secret. It wouldn't change things much more in the immediate sense, but I wondered what kind of advantages it might provide in the future. I had opted to try to learn how to speak the names first. One, because I knew that adults tended to get excited when their little ones said their name for the first time. And two, I could yell at them specifically if I so choose. However, seeing as Knuckles spent most afternoons with me, it had only seemed fair that he got the first opportunity. And you'd chosen to keep it a secret. For now. Why? Why did he want to keep that to himself? I had noticed over the passing days that I was developing faster than a human child would have. Granted how long it took for humans to be full-grown versus the hedgehogs of this world, I assumed that somewhere in between was natural. I was gaining more balance. I was figuring out how to get onto my hands and knees, and soon enough I'd be crawling, able to navigate the household more or less as easily as the rest of the occupants. The days came and went, and life went on as I guessed was usual. It was the beginning of the weekend, and Tom and Maddie had both gone off of work for the day. Clearly, they had some sort of outing planned, as Maddie was stuffing sandwiches and snacks into a box, and Sonic was zipping around madly in the kitchen. Knuckles sat on the floor with me, occasionally looking up as Sonic dashed about.
Slow down. You're going to knock something over and Mother will be displeased.
Don't worry, it'll be fun.
Sonic was odd again, hollering to Tails if he'd seen some item of his. I looked to Knuckles and managed to catch his gaze, trying to ask him what in the world was going on. The echidna's body was tense, his arms crossed in front of him in a defensive position, and his jaw was set. It looked like he was trying to put up a calm sullen front, but under that, something was bothering him. Knuckles sighed, lowered his voice to a whisper.
We're going on a trip to visit the mother of our father.
A trip to Grandma's house. No wonder the speedy blue child was so excited. That seemed to be a common thing to make young mortals happy. But why would Knuckles be uncomfortable about that? Had he never been? Was he worried first introductions wouldn't go smoothly? As Tails came hurrying down the steps with another bag slung over his shoulder, I saw he was just as tense and nervous.
Do you think she'll like me?
Tom bent down and ran his fingers through Tails' fur with a smile.
She likes everybody, Tails. You'll be fine. Both of you.
Knuckles nodded, but the tension never left him. He scooped me up into his arms and we started towards the truck, off on a new adventure with my temporary hosts.
The drive was only 30 minutes or so, but it was plenty enough time for Obsidian to zoink out in the middle seat of the truck. He was placed in a special seat that Tails had built for him, and was out like a light before they even hit the edge of Green Hills Town Square. Trips out to the Wachowski family farm hadn't been as frequent since Tom and Maddie had begun taking in alien kids. They took Sonic a few times once. He was comfortable in their home, but things had just been too hectic since Robotnik sent in attack for them to probably take the whole family out to introduce Tails and Knuckles, and they didn't even get a chance to mention Obsidian to Tom's mom yet. Tom looked in the rearview mirror, seeing the older trio all seated in the back of the truck and looking out over the landscape. Tails and Knuckles hadn't been this far out of Green Hills yet, both having come directly into town via rings, using rings to travel long distances. Sonic had argued that flying over it didn't count, as they barely got to see any of it up close. Tails marveled at the trees, Knuckles remarked on the mountains that surrounded them, and Sonic just beamed at their gawking and wonder. He'd run these hills numerous times over the years he was in hiding, but he clearly was enjoying watching someone else experience it for the first time.
You're sure your mom's gonna like me, Dad? I read that farmers don't like foxes.
That's because Earth foxes tried to kill their chickens. Grandma Maggie is great. And who wouldn't love all this fluff?
Sonic reassured as he ruffled the kid's fur. Tom smiled at the interaction, and then looked ahead, and the smile vanished with the ground. Tom pulled to a stop, rolling his eyes as he saw Carl standing at the edge of the woods with his shotgun, and Wade standing there with him, or at least he was until Carl started moving towards the truck to talk to them.
Hold on a second, guys. Hi, Carl. I hope you remember what I said about just walking around with shotguns and chainsaws.
Sheriff, you got yourself another devil out in those woods. I saw them last night, almost caught them too.
That's so.
Something stole a pair of sneakers off his back porch.
I saw them. I heard a commotion outside my cabin the night before last. Found the shoes left behind on the ground, left them out to dry out, and last night, I caught the new devil trying to snag them.
Maybe they needed sneakers. I needed new sneakers when Mom and Dad found me.
I didn't get a good look at them, but I know those glowing eyes from a creature anywhere.
We'll keep an eye out, Carl. Don't worry.
If it's anything dangerous, we've got it covered.
Carl gave the blue devil a look, and then returned to continue his discussion with Wade, allowing the Wachowskis to move on with their day.
I have designed another one wandering around.
For once, I agree. 4 kids are enough, at least for now. Let these guys get settled first, and then maybe try and find a bigger house if this keeps up.
It was another 10 minutes or so to the farm, and Sonic was practically bouncing up and down in the back of the truck as they came up the driveway. Tom saw his mom coming out of the little farmhouse and waved out the window before pulling up in front.
Morning, Mom.
I swear, every time you come by, you've got a new truck.
Hey, at least they're all used. I'm not that spendy. It's good to see you, Mom.
You too, sweetie. I've heard you got 2 more kiddos to introduce.
Tom beamed and turned towards the back of the truck.
Alright, boys, hop on out.
Sonic zipped out of the back of the truck and up to the woman with a hug.
Hi, Grandma Maggie.
Hi, Sonic. You've gotten so much bigger since the last time I saw you. Look at that.
She looked up as Knuckles and Tails carefully climbed out of the back and walked cautiously forward.
And you must be Tails and Knuckles.
Tails peeked from behind Knuckles, giving a little wave.
Hello, Mrs. Wachowski. A little timid, are we? Don't worry, dear. You're both as welcome here as with your mom and dad. Speaking of mom...
Maddie chuckled from where she was, unstrapping Obsidian from his seat.
Almost there, Maggie. Come here, sweetie.
She scooped Obsidian up into her arms and then looked to Sonic.
Can you grab his stuff, Sonic?
Of course, Mom.
Oh, you are such a tiny little thing. You didn't tell me you had a baby, too.
It's been a busy few weeks. We found him recently, born and all alone. We've been keeping an eye out for his mom, but nothing.
So we made a decision.
Abba is staying with us.
Sonic cheered as he slung the diaper bag over one shoulder and closed the truck door behind him.
Bobby?
I thought we could shorten sitting a bit. Abba rolls off the tongue better, don't you think?
He turned as he heard a sniffle and then saw Obsidian shove his head into Maddie's shoulder with a soft cry.
What? You don't like it?
Knuckles reached up and put a hand on Obsidian's back, watching the little hedgehog grasp onto Maddie's shirt for dear life, like he never wanted to let go. The echidna gave a slight smile.
No, I believe he loves it very much.
Grandma Maggie bent down to Knuckles' muzzle.
Now I could tell Tails is a little fox, but what about you?
I am an echidna trained from birth to be a noble warrior.
An echidna, huh? Well, there's always room for a young, brave monotremes in my home.
Knuckles tilted his head in confusion and she chuckled.
Monotremes are the family classification for echidnas here on our planet. Not many of them here either.
What do you mean?
Hedgehogs are a part of a group of many types of animals, and there are even 17 different species of hedgehog here. But in echidnas, there are only 2 kinds of echidnas, and only 5 species in the monotreme family group.
If there are 2 kinds, what are the other 3 in the monotreme family class?
Tails asked, coming out from behind Knuckles a bit more, as intelligent conversation caught his attention.
That would be the platypus. Such special creatures, just like all of you. Alright, let's get inside before the bugs feed us to it. Come on.
Sonic zipped into the house and the others all followed, and Tom paused to look at Maddie as Obsidian continued to snuggle deeper into the crook of her arm.
Getting all settled in, huh?
Yeah, I think he is.